There is a temptation for leaders when creating solutions to take big swings, to help leave their mark on an organization or create some kind of legacy. There's nothing wrong with big changes. They can often be justified, but too often leaders overlook the small changes that their organization can make to improve. By small and simple things are great things brought to pass is a scripture that may sound like a fortune cookie, but presents a powerful idea. The message is that paying attention and acting on what others may consider insignificant can have a huge impact on an organization. When you are able to identify these small projects that make a positive impact on your organization, not only will you be able to improve your organization, but you also create a culture of attention to detail. Your focus on seemingly minor details as a leader will send the message to your people that the small things that they do matter. So they know when it comes to completing their job, they need to pay attention to the smallest detail, because that might be the detail that makes the difference. Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak founded Apple in 1976, selling an 8-bit desktop computer called the Apple I that they built in Steve Jobs' parents' garage. The company grew quickly, releasing several new models after the Apple I. But following several commercial failures, Steve Jobs looked to change Apple's fortunes as he took control of the development team for the Macintosh, known more commonly as the Mac. Jobs wanted his products to make the small things unforgettable. Every detail mattered to him, which is why when designing the interface for the Mac, he did not just rely on the imagination of software designers. In fact, Steve Jobs hired professional artists to make those details, which others might consider insignificant, a central feature of the Mac. Susan Kerr, a graphic designer with a PhD in fine arts from New York University, used her expertise to bring a sense of fun to the Mac experience, but also to create a more easily accessible user experience. Her efforts most famously resulted in the Mac having different fonts, but there are many of Susan's developments that we take for granted, such as the trash folder being displayed as a trash can, files being displayed as folders on the screen, the mouse arrow becoming a hand, and so much more. Steve Jobs wanted the customer to have an experience when they use the Macintosh, not just get their work done. This was reflected in the attention to detail of the appearance, the interface, and yes, the different style of fonts. His vision has made a huge impact not just for Apple, but on the entire personal computer industry. Apple released the Macintosh in 1984 to much fanfare after an advertising campaign that included one of the most iconic commercials in American history, based on George Orwell's 1984. Sales soared from the start, quickly passing the sales from the Lisa, which had been released the year prior. And just like that, Steve Jobs' vision was vindicated. After the Macintosh, Steve Jobs and Apple continued creating products that changed the game, like the iPod, the iPhone, and the Mac. With these successes, Steve Jobs went from just being the eccentric and mercurial founder of Apple computers to one of the most influential inventors in American history. His impact, not just on Apple, but on the world, was profound and urges all of us to take the challenge given by Apple under Steve Jobs' leadership to think different. For your organization to have a focus on elevating the small things will start with you. Your people will calibrate their work to what you accept. So if you want the small things to matter to your people, you need to show them the small things matter to you. If you are not naturally detail-oriented, this may take some deliberate effort to accomplish. One tool you could try is creating a process flow map of your operations and experiences with your organization for all of your stakeholders to understand the previously neglected operations that could be improved. Or even more simple than that, you could talk to your people or customers about the small things that make their experience more difficult. No matter how you choose to do it, committing to making these incremental improvements means you need to learn to become more observant and think outside the box. You never know as a leader where you can find opportunities to improve the lives of your people or the operations of your organization. Alright scholars, I have a challenge for you from today's lesson. I want each of you to think about your daily routine at your place of work. What is one small change you can make to that routine that would add value to your organization, your people, or your customer? Make sure you put your answer in the comments so that we can all learn from each other. Alright, till next time. Keep on learning. Thank you for watching. Much of what I go over in my lessons can be found in my book, Mission First, People Always, which is available for purchase through the link in the description of the video. If you enjoyed today's video and want to watch more leadership lessons, then make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel.